It's coffee time, it's coffee time, it's the one pot chef drinking coffee and time. That's the crappiest intro ever. Welcome to a new edition of Coffee Time, the monthly chat show here on the OnePotChefBlog, where I answer questions sent in by you guys. And welcome to 2012, brand new year, brand new series of Coffee Time. For my new people who've just arrived on the channel who have not seen Coffee Time before, basically, if you want to ask me a question, you simply leave it in the comment section below here on YouTube, and I will answer your question in next month's edition. Now, this video is unedited, so it's an extra long version, so lots of fun. So kick back, get your coffee, get your tea, poison, whatever the hell you'd like to sit back and enjoy, and let's get into some goofy lunatic behaviour. Alright, let's find the questions. First question comes from Kelsey80. What? Oh, hello, Kel. I just realised I got your coffee mug here. I'm not actually drinking coffee today. Technically, it's a cheat because it's nearly 40 degrees today. It's the height of summer, so I'm actually drinking water, but I thought I can't break with tradition. What are your top 5 movies from Kelsey80? Good grief, top 5. In no particular order. Donnie Darko. Love that film. Every time I watch it, there's something different in it. Thelma and Louise, because deep down I'm a raging feminist, and I'm not exactly sure why. Let me think. Oh, goodness. I've got like about 500 DVDs out there and Blu-rays and things, so it's hard to pick. American Psycho, that's another good one. Very gory, that one. I don't mind a bit of horror and gore here and there, so there's a couple there. I'm trying to remember the name of that one with Guy Fawkes type character and Hugo Weaving, the guy in the mask. And oh, God, I love that movie, and I can't remember the name of it. It's stuck in my brain. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and oh goodness, I don't know. There's too many to pick from, but I've got a very wide range of tastes in movies and things. Oh, and Hairspray. Hairspray was good. I watched that again recently. I felt like having some fun. I'm not sure. Write down in the comments section if you can remember the name of the movie, because it'll drive me nuts. Next question from Jill M. De Jesus, or is it Jill M. De Jesus? I don't know. Words or numbers, half empty or half full, early or late, irritable or peaceful, generous or stingy. Okay. Words, definitely more than numbers. I am absolutely lousy at mathematics. I can't count for crap. I'm more wordy than anything else. Half empty or half full? I guess it depends what day of the week it is, because like sometimes I'm a lot more sort of positive than negative, so I'm having a bit of a half full day today, so that's not too bad. Early or late? I am always early. I've got a weird sort of fetish for not being late. I hate when people are late, and I hate being late myself, so if it means I have to turn up to somewhere half an hour to an hour before an appointment's due, I will be there half an hour beforehand. So, yeah. Irritable or peaceful? Oh, I used to be a lot more peaceful, but I'm a lot more irritable these days. I'm not sure why. I'm not a morning person, I know that. So if you ask me for anything at like 7 o'clock in the morning, don't be shocked if I'm not peaceful. And generous or stingy? I like to think I'm fairly generous. I can be stingy at times, but I think we all are at times. Yeah. So I'll err on the side of generosity on that one. Next one from Monchechito? I don't know. Sounds complicated. What are your fondest memories of childhood? If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be? I suppose my fondest memories of childhood is when my family would all get together for a barbecue or lunch or something like that. We used to do that quite regularly, and we still do to an extent. We just don't have as big a family as we used to. Sort of people have grown up, moved on, and things like that. So, yeah, we used to have these big barbecues out on this huge covered patio at our old place down in Sydney, and it was a lot of fun. So, I remember them; they were good. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be? I would love to go on a cruise at the moment. I'm in the mood for going. I don't get to travel much these days, and so when I do, I'd like to go somewhere I haven't been before, and I'd love to go like a South Pacific cruise or something like that. Even if it was just for a few days, it'd be really nice. Mr. Butterworth 24. Just wanted to see how familiar Australians are with certain Americans, so I'm just going to name a few people and you tell me if you have heard of them. Michael Jordan, yes, basketball person. Albert Pujols. Oh, pronounced Pujols. Oh, okay. No, I've never heard of Albert Pujols. Brian Williams, no, I can't say I've heard of them. Larry King, yes, well, I've heard of him. So, yeah, no Pujols or Williams. God, we've gone very downstairs quickly in this video, haven't we? Rockstar 8 Tube, what's your New Year's resolution? Oh, God. Probably just to get through the new year, because for those of you who haven't been paying attention, I just moved house and we've started doing renovations on the new house, and I've got the new kitchen being installed in the end of the month, so there's a lot to do. I haven't really had a chance to relax these sort of Christmas and New Year's holidays, so yeah, so I guess my New Year's resolution is to try and find a little time to just kick back and relax. I think that's a reasonable thing. Who's next? The Kiwi Cook. What made you first want to do these coffee time videos? Because they're awesome. Oh, thank you. I guess they are awesome. I just have fun doing them. What first made me want to do them? Oddly enough, it was a couple of years ago I did a thing, I think it was called OnePotChef Frequently Asked Questions, because I used to get a lot of people asking me questions about what I do and things like that, and I put it all into one video. And it was really popular, and I had a lot of people asking me questions further, and I ended up doing a second one about a year later. And I looked back going through sort of videos on this channel because I was never really sure what to do with this sort of second channel, and I thought, well, I'll have a look and see what's worked on this channel and what hasn't. And there's been a couple of videos that went viral which are hard to reproduce, but the ones where I'm answering questions seem to always be very popular, always got a lot of responses and comments and things like that. So I thought I'd give it a go as a regular thing. I didn't want to do it weekly because I thought it might be a bit sort of too much, and I kind of have a lot of things going on every week as it is anyway, so doing it weekly wasn't a very realistic option. So I thought maybe if it was monthly it wouldn't get sort of boring, but that's what I did. So yeah, it's coffee time. Bexter 457639, can you do the recipe for the sausage thing? I got a lot of people asking about the sausage thing, actually. It's not really much of a recipe, to be honest, because there really isn't that much to it. Really, it's just a thing of sausage meat that's got a bit of seasoned breadcrumbs on the outside, and then it's baked. So there's really not much to it. It's really just a big chunk of sausage, really. It's just got a bit of a crumb coating on it, so there's not really much on it. But if I get enough people asking for it, I probably will do it, maybe for next Christmas. Chlorophyll factor. Would you eat an exotic worm dish? I guess it depends. How exotic are the worms? I can't honestly say I've ever thought about eating worms, so I'm not really sure. I would say that I would certainly consider it if the situation ever arose. I'm trying to read this one. Felsleisha? My question is, why do people pick such bizarre usernames? I have no idea. There's some fairly weird ones out there, isn't there? I remember I used to have a username on YouTube before I started doing the One Pot Chef stuff, and I actually can't remember what it was now, but it was... I always sort of picked things that were a little odd because it was easier to remember, but there's some pretty odd ones out there. Speaking of odd, Mr. McGangbanger. How many times have you had sexy time? How many times have you had sexy time? Plenty. Gentleman doesn't count. Jill M. Jesus is back. Are you a fan of Starbucks, and do you have hostess snacks in AU like Twinkies or Ho-Hos? Oh, okay. Starbucks, we used to have them in Australia, and they kind of went bust about a year ago. I went in there a couple of times, and I never really liked their coffee that much. I think it's because Americans tend to have they tend to like a stronger, more bitter coffee where, from what I can tell, Australians tend to like it a little sweeter. So I think that might be why Starbucks went down. Plus, a lot of people thought Starbucks was a bit sort of snobby because, like, most people in Australia, they go in for a coffee, they want a small, medium or large coffee, and they had these sort of ventis and verdies and doodahs and stuff, and they used to get really sort of up their nose about it when someone goes, well, actually, I just want a large coffee. We don't do large coffee, we only have venti. It's like, really? Well, get a bloody venti cup and fill it large, bitch. As for Twinkies and Ho-Hos, they're not generally available in Australia. There's a shop that specialises in in American chocolates and things. That's where I get the things for those American chocolate videos, and they have Twinkies there. I tried one in one of the videos, and it's not without its charm. I wasn't really that fussed on it. So no, they're not generally sold, but they have similar things in Australia, sort of like little snack cakes and things like that, but not specifically Twinkies or Ho-Hos. Tomlin ID. What about kangaroo burgers, Vegemite and pavlova? Aren't they typical Aussie foods? Well, I would question if you could find an Australian who eats kangaroo on a regular basis. Vegemite's something you spread on food, I suppose. And pavlova is questionable if you could call Australian. I'm not getting into the pavlova debate again. It's calmed down after 2 years. I'm not getting into this whole sort of where pavlova comes from. Last time I brought this up, it turned into World War III on YouTube, and I'm not going anywhere near it again. CatFreak190. Have you heard of a show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Yes, I have, because we have it in Australia. It's actually filmed in Australia, and we get it on TV now and again. It's quite a fun little show, actually. I've just finished watching the latest season of it, so I think Mark got ripped off. I think he should have won. Only because I think he's cuter. Also from CatFreak190, what do you do when you are waiting for your food to cook when filming? Not a lot, really. I tend to do all the cleaning up afterwards. Like, if I've got shoved something in the oven for an hour or whatever, I tend to do all the washing up and clean down the surfaces so I'm ready for when I do the rest of the filming. Sort of clean as you go. It's my retail training coming out. Let's see. Ian Gorton. When cooking those rissoles you buy at the butcher's, is there an ideal way to cook them properly? I find that even if they're burnt on the outside, they're still a bit raw in the middle. Ah! Yes, well, I can tell you what you're doing wrong. If they're burnt on the outside and not cooked in the middle, you're cooking them on too high a heat. When you cook things like meat and rissoles and stuff like that, what you need to do is you cook it on a low to medium heat and allow it to slowly cook through the inside. Try to avoid pressing down on them and letting all the juices come out, because they tend to dry out really quickly as well if you do that. So give them an initial press to sort of flatten them out slightly and allow them to cook slowly, and that'll come out better. Next one. From the Gurger. Do you prefer pork, beef, chicken, lamb, rabbit or seafood? Well, I don't eat a lot of pork. I had some the other day, which was probably the first time I've eaten pork in about a year or so, because I'm not really that fussed on it. It's okay. I tend to stick to beef and chicken mostly, because I find they're the most versatile. Lamb is obscenely expensive in Australia these days, and I refuse to pay for it, especially when I really don't consider it to have a lot of flavour. So rabbit isn't very common in most butcher's shops. You'd have to go to a specialty game place to get that, and again, I'm not really that worried. And I don't really eat a lot of seafood. I have fish now and again, but it doesn't really agree with me. So yeah, mostly beef and chicken. That's what I stick to. The Happy Chap 101. Do you have any weird food fetishes? Mine is the smell and taste of raw minced beef, like you would put in a cottage pie or lasagna. I have it straight out of the packet. Ew! You eat raw meat? Oh dear! No! You shouldn't be eating raw minced beef. Oh dear! No, I don't do anything like that. I don't know if I have any weird foot fetishes. Pardon the lack of shaving. I've kind of been busy the last couple of days and I haven't had a chance to have a shave, so I'm all fuzzy. Weird food fetishes. I don't think I have any weird food fetishes. Except perhaps I eat things in, like, even numbers. So, like, I can't eat, like, you know, like one Tic Tac. I have to have two. I can't eat, like Smarties or little things like that. I always eat them in even numbers because, I don't know, maybe it's just me having a OCD moment, I'm not sure. But that's probably the closest one I got. I don't tend to eat anything raw or anything like that, so... Jennifer171986. What do you think about... What do I think about that? What do I think about Atawapiscat? I'm firmly against it, because I have no idea what that is, or even if I've pronounced that even remotely correctly. I have no idea. Sorry, I will just say I'm firmly against it, and prepare to accept the consequences. Agdol Magic, what's the worst present you have ever gotten for Christmas? I don't get presents for Christmas, because my family doesn't generally celebrate Christmas. What we do is we get together and we have lunch and sort of Christmas lunch and sort of stuff like that, but we don't go for the whole buying huge presents for each other and stuff like that. In fact, we actually have a little deal. What we all do is we buy $10 worth of scratch-it lotteries, little scratchies, for each person, and we put it in a Christmas card and we just exchange Christmas cards. And the first sort of half an hour or so of everyone getting to the house is spent there furiously scratching these scratch cards to see who's won the most, and whoever wins the most is the one who wins Christmas. That's what we call it. It's like, I win Christmas! Actually, I won Christmas this year, actually, with $54 worth of winnings, so I rule. In your face, sis! I know she's going to be watching this and she's going to make a comment about that. Yeah, so we don't exchange presents. So I've never really had a bad present at Christmas. Agdol Magic again. How do you become a YouTube partner, and do you need to pay for it? No, you don't need to pay to become a YouTube partner. What you do is you have to apply. You go to youtube.com/partners, and there'll be information about how to apply to become a partner. Basically, you've got to meet their criteria to become a YouTube partner. Generally, you've got to have a certain number of subscribers, you've got to have a certain number of views coming in. You also have to be doing something on YouTube that's relatively unique. It's much harder to become a partner these days than it was, say, a year ago. Because they're trying to find people who are doing things that are slightly different to what everyone else is doing. So, yeah, so all you can do is basically make sure your channel and your videos are up to scratch and put the application in, and they'll either accept you or they won't. So, I wouldn't panic if they don't accept you, because I think you can reapply in 3 months' time. So, yeah, so give it a go and see how it goes. You never know. Worked for me. Opboardingo? Have you ever had your hair grown out to the length of your shoulders? If not, are you going to try that anytime soon? No. My hair doesn't do that. My hair doesn't grow down, it grows up. And it becomes very thick. My hair grows like you wouldn't believe. It grows like a weed. And it grows very thick, and so I have to get it cut within, like, usually every month or so, because if I don't, it becomes so thick, it becomes really sweaty in summer, and it's very uncomfortable, and it's impossible to do anything with it. So I'm getting close to getting another haircut, because it's starting to get really sort of thick and bushy. So yeah, so that's what I'd never had it grow down. I wouldn't want it to grow down like that. I'd find that uncomfortable. So And another question from this person: can you grab your crotch while singing a line from Michael Jackson songs? No, I cannot. I cannot do that, and I will not even get into speaking about Michael Jackson, because my opinion about him is apparently extremely unpopular, especially since he's died. And so I will just say that he well and truly did exist at one point. That's as much as I'm prepared to say about him. CatFreak190 again. Who is renovating your kitchen? Did your dad make the sausage thing? Covered that. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, or Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too. Who is renovating the kitchen? It's a local company round here called the Kitchen Centre, and they are a very small company. They're sort of husband and wife team, and they sort of do the whole lot. They sort of design it. They come out and do the measurements. They hire the contractors and get everyone out to do everything, and full service type thing. So looking forward to it getting done, because they're going to come and rip it out in a couple of weeks' time, and then it all gets put in over 2 or 3 days, and back to reality. Yay! Yes, and Dad did make the sausage thing for Christmas. Yeah, sort of. It was very nice. Very good on sandwiches afterwards. Next one. Johnny98 Galatasaray. I think I said that right. I hope this isn't too personal, but were you bullied at school often? Also, can you give me food tips for colds, like hot beverages? Not personal. Yes, I was bullied at school. Fact is, I was fat and I was gay, so I was a pretty easy target, but after about the age of 13, I was about 6'6", like I am now, and it didn't really become an issue because no one was really willing to do anything. So, as for food tips for colds, I could just say chicken soup and things like that, but I find, especially if you're very phlegmy, if you avoid having anything with dairy in it, because that tends to generate more phlegm. So try to stick to hot lemon tea, things like that. It tends to sort of be soothing. A bit of honey in it as well is very good, and you'll probably be feeling better soon. I don't know, Productions. Are you a fan of Lady Gaga? I like some of her music. I wouldn't say I was a fan, but I sort of wouldn't call myself a monster or anything. I probably have a couple of her songs on my iPad still, but beyond that, I don't listen to her every day. So she's okay. Interesting artist. Horror Movie 100. Have you ever thought of doing a live cooking video? It's funny, actually, because I've been getting a lot of people asking me about this recently. By people, I mean companies that are trying to set up websites doing live cooking demonstrations, and I can't do it. It just doesn't work for me, because I don't have the kind of setup in order to do a live cooking demonstration in my kitchen. So it would be a real pain in the ass to do anyway, but it's generally not what I do. Like, I don't do live stuff. I do stuff and then edit it down and make it nice and short, so it'll be very difficult to reproduce that live. So, no, I wouldn't do it. Another one from Horror Movie 100. If you could have the option of making a third YouTube channel, what would it be about? Oh, God. I have enough trouble running 2 channels. A third one would probably kill me. I don't know. I've never really thought of having a third channel because I have enough trouble running the 2, but actually, that might be one that's interesting. How about people leave in the comment section what they think that it would be good as a third channel for the One Pot Chef, and see what you guys think, because I've never really thought about it, to be honest. Next question. I don't know, Productions. Do you believe marijuana should be legal? Not really, no. And it's not because I think it's a bad thing or anything like that. I think it's dangerous, because there are people who have the brain chemistry where it can cause serious damage to you, and there's no real way of knowing if you're that kind of person unless you start smoking it. And while I think it's relatively benign if that doesn't affect you, but it has been linked to things like schizophrenia and stuff, so no, I don't think it should be legal. But, yeah. Asm Jonas, how come Nico wasn't invited to the Next Chef program on YouTube, as he has the most subscribers? I think he would have been an eligible contestant. He actually is part of Next Chef. He's just not a contestant. He's actually one of the mentors on it. It wasn't about who has the most subscribers or anything like that. What they were looking to do was, the whole point of Next Chef is that there's only a couple of really big sort of YouTube chefs like Nico, Chef John, who've got really huge numbers of subscribers. So you've got these sort of 2 or 3 people here, and then you've got this huge gap between the next sort of set of people with sort of larger subscribers. And so what they were trying to do is take these ones with the smaller subscriber bases and build them up. So you don't really need to build up Nico because he's like huge already. And that didn't sound right at all, did it? I'm going to build up Nico because he's huge. Yeah, he's already got an established huge sort of subscriber base. I'm going to stop saying huge. Huge. It sounds weird now. Huge. Yeah, he's already got a big audience, so he doesn't actually need sort of the kind of promotion and stuff like that. Because it's not actually a competition or anything like that, because people keep saying contestants, but it's not a competition. What it is, it's like a training program where the next chefs get together in Google Hangouts and they get taught how to do advanced editing and promotions, marketing and all that sort of stuff. And this is stuff that Nico and these other these other more popular YouTubers, just to keep saying that, more popular YouTubers have already got that sort of stuff down pat. So it's the people who've been picked for Next Chef are the ones that YouTube have identified as being people who they think with a bit of training and a bit of an extra equipment they can really take them to the next level. So that's what it is. Let's see. Oh, same person. Did you hear much about the 22nd of July shootings of massacre in Norway in the news in Australia? We heard heaps about it. It was live as it was happening on TV here. So we saw the whole thing. It was absolute tragedy. It's horrific. I remember sitting here watching it. It was in the afternoon here, and just sort of, holy crap, like, what do you say? Sort of so many people killed and hurt. It was a terrible, terrible day. So, yeah, so we got it live. We saw it. Next question. Even though you are a friend of the fat Aussie bastard, do you ever get mad or upset with him when he uses words like faggot? Yes and no, and I'm going to clarify that. I don't like it when people use things like gay or faggot or whatever in a derogatory way. Like as you're sort of saying with fat Aussie bastard, when he's angry at someone and he's calling them a faggot, he's not actually calling them gay, he's basically saying they're a bad person or whatever. And I don't like that association. But that being said, I'm not really that worried about it. And I know that Pete, the fat Aussie bastard, is not a homophobe. He doesn't go sort of round saying about how much he hates gays or anything like that. He's never said a bad thing about me. So, and he's a lovely man. And I think it's just, he's one of those very passionate people who, when he's sort of upset and he's getting angry, he just sort of, it all comes out. And I think it's just an example of him sort of thinking before he speaks. So, or speaking before he thinks, rather, I should say. So, yeah, I say it's, I don't like it, but I wouldn't say it upsets me. And I more sort of, I understand what he's doing, but I don't think I think he needs to sort of maybe pick a different word. But beyond that, I'm not worried. Mary James 25, have you been to Nauru? Do you want to go there? No, I've never been to Nauru, and I can't honestly say I know anything about Nauru except for the old detention centre that used to be there. So, yeah, I never really thought of it as a holiday destination, so no. And, last question. What are we up to? This is going to be a short edition today, isn't it? I did a bit of editing with things because there was a lot of comments on there, and I realised there wasn't really that many questions for this month, so I did quite well this time. Last question, and of course, it's from Cooking with Karma. Hello there, remember me. My question is, do you think size really matters? Is it the length or the width that's important? You haven't lost your touch, dear, I'll give you that. I think that the length and the width is especially important because if it's too small, it just doesn't feel like it's in my mouth. Of course, I'm talking about a chocolate bar. I'm not talking about any sort of disgusting illusion that you might be thinking. No. I think, generally speaking, the size of anything in any particular situation is not necessarily the case. It's more about sort of what you do with it. And as I always say, if it's more than a mouthful, it's a waste. but I'm willing to try it nonetheless. Alright, well this is the shortest coffee time on record, so lots of questions for next month, people. Leave them in the comments section below for me. Also, that was the last thing before I forget. There's a little, see if anybody actually watches to the end of this video. I'm looking to contact these musical people out there who've got guitars and pianos and things like that, who like to sort of do little music things, because what I would like is to get a few guest musicians to do the coffee time theme at the beginning of coffee time videos this year. So all you need to do is record yourself playing the guitar, singing the coffee time theme tune. You can do it whatever style you like. You can do it simple, you could do it really elaborate, lots of instruments, whatever you like, and simply upload it to YouTube as a unlisted or private video, or unlisted video, probably easier, and then send me the link as a private message on OnePotChefBlog channel, and I shall copy it and I can use it. So you'll get a nice little shout out and everything like that. So if you'd like to do your version of the coffee time theme tune, please do so. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Alright, well I'm going to wrap this up. Lots of love to you all. Thank you for all the questions. I shall see you next month for more pointless coffee time nonsense. Okay guys, lots of love to you all. Mwah. Bye bye.